Hi, my name is Bob Tipton. I'm the CEO and Principal Change Architect for Team Tipton. Well, as CEO of Team Tipton, we're a public benefit corporation and a certified B corporation. We focus on delivering consulting, training, and coaching services to organizations that serve humanity and the public good. There's really no such thing as a typical day. Some days I'm at my desk taking care of administrative things or marketing related things or writing or developing presentations. Other days I travel, I meet clients where they are, and still other days it's going from one client to the next, to the next, to the next. We have a number of clients, 10 or 15 at any given point in time, and I can sometimes be involved in 4 or 5 of them in the same day. So there's really no such thing as a typical day. It's just the day that I have. My most important daily task has to do with making sure that all the relationships that are included in the work that we do are being paid attention to. So that includes clients, it includes team members, a variety of different perspectives, and then also those that we're looking to potentially recruit either as customers or as future team members. So most important thing for me is just to make sure I'm on top of all the relationship needs that we have. To make sure that I am operating with intention, that the time that I spend, which is limited, everyone has the same amount of time, that I am focusing on things that are valuable, important, meaningful, as opposed to the pitfall of time wasters where you can just get drug into something and all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by. So living on purpose, managing, leading on intention, I think that's the most important daily task I have. I believe in collaborative leadership, especially with our younger generations that comes forward. They're not to sit down and just be quiet and go on with things types. They want to know how they're connected to things. They want to feel connected to the activities that we have. So my approach to leadership is very collaborative. There are times I have to make the decision as the CEO, but I try to keep those situations to a minimum. Pros and cons of being a leader or manager, well, I really did make a distinction between leadership and management. I think you lead people and you manage things. So in the category of management, it's about looking at budgets, invoices, sales, those kinds of things. You're managing schedule, scope. As a leader, it's all about the people. And for me, there are very few cons about being a leader if you have your head screwed on straight. It's about being certain that you know what your team needs from you as opposed to trying to guess what they might need. It's about being clear when it comes to giving direction and establishing expectations. And probably the most important pro about being a leader is building a set of expectations and core values that the organization can align around. There can be disagreement about the how, but there shouldn't be disagreement about the why. Long term, as a leader, I think my most important task is to develop more leaders, to be able to take the skills and talents and experience that I've gained and share that with those that are part of the team. Ultimately, we don't get out of this alive, so it's a matter of being able to make sure the things that you've learned, you've been able to share that. It's not a matter of having them do things the way that I do. It's about taking the process, the tool, putting their own stamp on it, making it better. But I think the most important thing that I do is develop other leaders. How do I develop my employees? Well, part of it is understanding where they are, not where I expect them to be, and being able to reach them where they are, and then help set together a collaborative set of expectations about where things are going. We have a very clear progression, a process of moving from one level to the next, and knowing exactly where team members are and where we both jointly want them to go. It's about building a plan, talking about that regularly, giving feedback, giving training opportunities, and then encourage them to own it. Ultimately, you can't make anybody do anything. It's about having them have a very strong want to when it comes to their career development. Motivation is an interesting thing. I actually can't motivate anybody else. I can inspire them, and that's through vision, it's through passion, it's about being connected to core values, foundational or guiding principles. But I can't motivate anybody. The motivation is an internal thing. So it's up to each person that's part of the team to find their own motivation for things. But my job is to help inspire them. It's a little bit like the story of where you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. My job is to get the horse thirsty. The most difficult challenge I face is in the professional services world, there's always an imbalance between demand and supply. You either have too many people and not enough work, or too much work and not enough people. And being able to keep the two in balance means you're doing good things for gross margin. You're also doing good things for people's income potential. It's a matter of keeping your eye on the ball on both of them and giving enough attention to each. So there's never really balance, but you try to find the best opportunity to keep it both supply and demand for the work as close to balance as possible. What role does power play? Well, I think power is one of those things that's really misused often. There should be very little power necessary in an organization that's aligned around values, where people are motivated themselves to do the work, where they're clearly operating around roles and responsibilities that they understand. Power doesn't come into play at all. In fact, it becomes very, very low energy on behalf of the leader who sets up an organization that way. So there are very few circumstances where I actually would use any kind of positional authority or power. Sometimes I have to make the final call about financing or about someone being hired or something like that, but those are rare circumstances. I think people that think about power, they're really not leaders yet. They're still thinking from a managerial perspective.